Dead was actually the result of a combination of two projects. Originally, the concept of two people coming to terms with their past and their present existed alone, independent of a world filled with the Walking Dead. I've always been fascinated by zombies. I always wanted to try my hand at it. I realized midway through the writing process that you could easily blend the two. A world with zombies has a very distinct before and after, a very distinct past and a very distinct future. We shot this film in November 2010. We had originally had a cut 3/4 of the way done a few months after that. Unfortunately, science happened and the hard drive crashed, so I lost the cut. We just couldn't go back with all the other work that was coming in to fix it. We had always hoped we'd have the time, but we didn't. It is currently 2013, 3 years later, and a few months ago, a very frequent collaborator of mine, Michael Whistler, very enjoyable person, got sick of not seeing his footage being used. Michael has managed to take what we shot and use it in a way that we were not expecting. We do a lot of reflection in the film, seeing the past lives of the two brothers, the events that happened between Teddy and Mara, and Michael used a lot of that B-roll in very, very good ways. The setting that we chose to tell the story in takes place after most of the world has died. The world itself is not dead, but most of the people in it are. Choosing to tell this particular story in that world was important because we wanted to show how physically alone you can feel when you are emotionally alone. So shooting this film on the vineyard that we were fortunate enough to get, and the weather, which was very cold, but was the fall, gave it that extra sense of desolation. Not devastation, because the world, even though it's fall, is still very much alive. It will be coming back. Nature is still there. It's easy to relate to someone in a film when you can see the situation that they're in, when you can feel that. And it's one thing to hear what they're saying, and it's another thing to be there with them. Choosing to set this film in a post-apocalyptic world was almost a subconscious choice. It just made the most sense. Whether it focuses on the zombies or not, there are zombies in it. The choice to not populate it with zombies, the choice to make it about the people and pull attention away from the zombies as much as possible, I think humanizes it. One of the themes that I wanted to explore with the film was the theme of loss and letting go. I firmly believe that there is a difference between walking away and letting go. When Ezra makes the decision, he arrives with the decision, knowing full well the situation, to put his brother down. He has made peace with the fact that this has happened. To the world, but also to him. You know, everyone has been experiencing this worldwide. Mara, who has just been on this farm with just her and Teddy and whatever they had available to them, can't let go because she would be alone. It's very hard to let something go and very hard to accept, to decide to be alone. When Ezra arrives, he views this visit as just a visit. It's a stop along the way to where he's going. When he gets to the vineyard and he sees Mara, in his attempts to change her, to better her, he ends up changing himself. Oftentimes when we try to help our friends or our family out of tough situations, we discover things about ourselves we didn't know, things that we're capable of. We prioritize in a different way. When you have two people who have been in a relationship together, ended it, and then still spend time with each other, there's a lot of baggage. Mara and Ezra are very stubborn people. That's very apparent throughout the film. Pride is a big factor in both their lives, and it's kind of ironic because who's there to show pride to? Each other? That's it. When you live alone, that's all there is. It's you and the truth. Lies only come into play when someone else shows up.
Testing them for what? We never tested
I'm
for
just checking
anything.
them. You look different.
I think people can relate to Mara and Ezra because asking for help is the most difficult thing someone can do sometimes. I think something that we all experience in life is compromise and trying to compromise with each other on what we need from each other. The most important thing that I want someone to take away when they watch this film is wondering what they would do in a similar situation. And I don't mean what would they do in a zombie landscape. I mean, what would they do if they were forced to face the past with someone that they had no closure with? How would you handle going into a situation where you ended a relationship, a friendship, whatever it is, some bond with someone under circumstances and a choice that you didn't make? How would you handle that?
This is a bad time for this conversation.
Yeah, it's always a bad time, isn't it?
The thing that I hope that viewers take away from the film is that it's not easy to accept something by yourself. It's not easy to accept your situation. No one can really do anything alone. Empathy is an important part of life. Empathy is an important part of who we are as a culture and as a society. When Ezra makes the choice to return, he makes the choice because he wants Mara to move past her situation. He wants Mara to move on. Because of their past, because of the past that Ezra and Mara have together, it's very difficult to move on, even for him. You know, the question of what Mara gets from keeping Teddy alive is essential and central to understanding her character. She can't let go. She can't move on. So she needs an outside influence to do it, an intervention. I think the audience can view Teddy as a metaphor for something in their life that they're just hanging on to, something that's not giving them anything and is just taking from them, that's sucking resources out of them and emotions and literally the life out of them. Dead is about second chances. In life, you only get one chance. You get one life. In Dead, you get to start over. In Dead, we start at the end of a very bad relationship, and we end at the beginning of a new one between the same two people. We're only seeing the transition. We're seeing the transformation.